continuing to fill up this list. Pretty quiet tonight, but starting to fill in now. And Joe, you really came up on that last one. You really did. Got a good one. And is slowly improving as the evening continues. All right, let's down to Eddie. Over there near the always looking for the I-10 curtain. K04 AMI, N4OZI.
N4OZI, this is KA4AMI. Well, I believe it's lifted somewhat because I'm copying Joe and Art, and Art, for the most part, I guess is my antennas or whatever. I copy before I do anybody else down there. And then Joe, I'm copying him the best I have in months. Over the summer, it's just been real hard. I would just know he's in there when I'd listen on the net. But it's good to hear everybody. And if I sound a little strange, I've been out in the heat. Boy, I tell you what, we had a little yard work to do. Well, actually not yard work, it was moving things around out there. And boy, it about got me a while ago, so I've been sitting here sipping water and a little this and that. And then I discovered I had a bad coax, a PL259 that goes into my in-fed transformer out there. I guess the weather had corroded the blade and it opened up. So when I first tested it this afternoon, it had a very high SWR. So it'd been about 9 months since I put one on there. So I came out and I had to make a real quick repair on it. It's not fixed, but it's repaired enough that I'm hearing and transmitting okay, I suppose. But it's good to hear everybody tonight. And Alan, you're very loud down here. You're pegging the meter on this SX73 I got here. So with that, I'll pass it back to you and see if we can get some more people in here before net time. And and Sam, you're blowing me out up here too. You got your rig just right. Keep it that way, man. N4OZI in the group. This is KA4AMI Williamson.
Hey, Eddie. KA4AMI, N4OZI. Well, I know the routine I got by is I have to take it down every 6 months and check the connection because they do get corroded very quickly. And what generally happens is the SWR doesn't go up. It transmits just fine. The reception gets really bad and noisy, and I've had that happen once, and had to did some process and elimination and figured out it's got to be here. Someone brought it down, and oh my! So now it's a 6-month routine. Every 6 months, I got to take it down, check those connections, and then hoist it back up there. And if I do that, it seems to do well. It does not like to be neglected. And so that's just the way it is. But the 160 is holding out real well. I fired it up last night, and it's doing well. So I was glad. One end was down. I had to go out in the property and pull that other end back up. But that's normal. It normally goes down because it's so big. All right, let's take another standby before we go to Cliff. Let's see if they have any other check-ins. This is the SAMRC Prenet. Any other check-ins coming out? We got you in there, Don. K5HFG got you in there. Any other check-ins? K4VZS. John, we got you in there. I almost started to transmit, and then I noticed I saw a carrier come up and I had to let go, and I got you in there. Oh, so we got you in there, John. You're on the list. K4VZS in there. It's N4OZI, and this is the SAMRC Prenet. Let's go to Cliff. WB4NKL. How about some comments for the Prenet? Cliff, it's N4OZI.
N4OZI. SWB4NKF. Okay, Al, you sounding so good. I had to check in tonight. Got a lot of static crisis, but you're way over. And I'm hearing most of the other stations. Went to the Shelby Ham Fest, and it's like all of them. If you go, you're going to bring back something. So I brought back a couple of receivers. I'm Eco TX86 and been playing with it some. And I enjoy it. So I take stuff and sell a few things, and I usually bring back a few things. So that's the way it goes. Like I say, everybody's sounding good, and back over. I'll turn the cliff loaded in a lifetime antenna in East End. Nobody has it working for. So go ahead, Alan. N4OZI, SWB4NKL.
Yeah, okay, Clint. WB4NKL, N4OZI. Yeah, I remember you from way back when, and it's good to hear you in there. I recognize your voice and your call. It's unmistakable. And yeah, the Shelby Ham Fest, I got a couple of links on my QRZ page to some photos of the Shelby Ham Fest, and it looked like a lot of fun. And yeah, there was some interesting stuff up there. Probably a good thing I didn't go, because I had come home with some stuff from Huntsville. And what were we saying about collecting stuff? So I don't need to be adding any more down here. So I opted to stay here. But it looked like it was a lot of fun, and the weather was really good. It was sunny, but it wasn't too excessively hot. And so it looked like you guys had the real good moment for that. Let's go over to Sam, KF42. Sam, how about some comments for the program? This is N4OZI.
All right, my friend. You're sounding good, N4OZI. Mousetrap in the SAMRC prenet. This is KF4TXQ, Roseville, Alabama. And Eddie Brown, you sounding mighty good from over at Williamson, and you know, let's hope that the propagation holds up. The sun's trying to creep down below the hill across the road over there, so I think the signals will just continually get better. It's a beautiful day here. It's about 84 degrees, something like that, and I don't think we're going to have any rain tonight. You never know, but yeah, that's just the way it goes. And while I got the microphone, if there's anybody out there listening, have an SX-140 Hallicrafters receiver, a little Hallicrafters receiver. I'm kind of looking for one, if somebody's got one that they would like to part with. But anyway, good to be with you, Alan. You take care, and good to hear everybody. John, I heard you down there in Pensacola, and back to N4OZI and the prenet. This is KF4TXQ.
Okay, Sam. KF4TXQ and the prenet, this N4OZI. Sam's looking for an SX-140 Hallicrafters receiver. If anybody's got one, be sure to let him know. And yeah, you might find them. There was quite a bit of gear over at Huntsville. I have to go back and look at the photos, see if they had any of that around. But they had what we were looking for. We made a couple offers on stuff that didn't get purchased, but came back with what we thought we needed, and that was pretty good. All right, let's take another standby real quick and see if we have any other check-ins. Any other check-ins from SAMRC prenet coming out? I think we got them all, so let's go to Don out in Mississippi, K5HF. Yeah, Don, I got some comments for the prenet. It's N4OZI.
So
Okay, Don. Got a good copy on you. K5HFG on Peak Ridge. This is in I and the pre-net. Got a good copy on you. So you're coming in good. So let's see. We can continue down the list and see if we can pick up John. K4VZS. John, how about some comments for the pre-net? It's in for OZI.
K4VZS. You're coming in good tonight, Al. The last few minutes you picked up 100%. Doesn't make you chubby this year.
All right, very good, John. Booming signal coming into Woodstock. You're really sounding good tonight. K4VZS in Pensacola. It's in for OZI in the SAMRC pre-net. And the Ranger and the SV220 sound real good. So you're doing real well. I'll take a quick standby, see if you have any other check-ins. Any other check-ins for the pre-net? Come now. We are caught up, and that's good because we come to the end of the pre-net, and guess what? We got everybody, which is rare, but got everybody in there. And let's see, like I said, we've been working on the station monitor to go on the rack. Got a scope over at Huntsville, and they got the parts in for that, so it produces a trapezoid pattern on the input and output of the amp, so you can see what's going on. Got that hooked up. So we're pretty happy with that and working on the KWM2 now and hopefully get it going. And the other thing we got was a Drake speaker. Of course, that was pretty easy. All we had to do was solder a connector. All right, we're at the top of the hour, so let's turn it over to Stan, W4KR, to take it. This is in for OZI.
All right, Alan, and good evening. Great job, Alan, as usual. And good evening, everybody. This is W4KR. With the beginning of the Southeast AM Radio Club Swap and Fellowship Net that takes place every Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Central. A little bit of static tonight, but not too bad. Copied everybody. Don, there was quite a difference from the time you first called in to the edge of transmission. You called in and didn't hear you, and you had come up out of the weeds by the time transmission time came along. Art and the other guys down in Florida, good copy here tonight. So off we go. As I said, we meet every Tuesday night, and there is some on the website. Mac was kind enough to send Ron some material, and on his Gates broadcast transmitter, getting it to 75 meters, and took a look at it this afternoon. Looks good. From here on out, we're going to be called W4 AMI, which is the club station club call. And with that, where are we going to go here? Okay, we're W4 AMI. My name is Stan. I'm in the northwest corner of South Carolina. running about 300 watts out, and the antenna here is a dipole up about 100 feet. And Alan, you were commenting about working on your antenna. I've got to get busy and check this one out. It's been behaving okay, but I haven't been up. It's been up there for quite a while, and it may be time to give it a little help. Anyway, let's see. Let us begin by I'll take a standby to see if we have any late events to the net. Got 13 folks here so far, so let's see if anybody else is ready. W4AMI listening.
W4OLJ. After that day, Kilo 3, Foxtrot, Zulu, Delta.
Okay, I picked up KW4OLJ. You're back in plus 40 over tonight, so it's Virgil is doing good. Also copied K3FZD. Anybody else? Okay. Don't think Bob is going to be here tonight. K4BKC, our club president. Heard from Bob about 5 o'clock. Said they were having, looked like they were going to be having thunderstorms over his way. And I think Dr. Ron probably won't be with us tonight. He may be listening, but he had a pleasant experience with a dentist this afternoon. So he I think was going to take it a little easy. First on the list is going to be our esteemed treasurer tonight, K4AMI. Your transmission, Eddie Brown. How you doing? W4AMI.
Oh man, I'm doing great. W4AMI. This is KA4AMI. Well, we're doing just great. The weather here has been beautiful all day, just hot as blazes. We were out moving some pots around, big concrete pots for my wife here a few minutes ago, and just about wiped me out. I'm getting weak in my old age here. But everything's great here in Williamson. Lots of good signals tonight, and if I all of a sudden go away, I had to fix my coax PL259 connector to the infed out there. All the braid was gone from the weather. So I noticed this afternoon I had a high SWR. I said, well, I better look into that. And sure enough, that's what it was. And like Alan said, it's been about a year now, but like you said, probably about every 6 months would be a good idea to check that thing and not get in this position. So I got to get it changed out maybe tomorrow. But anyway, we're on the Ranger tonight, listening on the SX73 or R274, whatever you prefer, and with the SB220 and the infed half-wave antenna, and dropping things on the floor. But we're glad to be here, and sorry Ron and Bob can't make it, but that's the way it is. I had to miss one, cut out early 1 or 2 weeks ago. We had weather here. Anyway, Stan, you're sounding great, and there's a lot of great signals out there, but you're especially good tonight. I don't know what you're running, but it sounds good. W4AMI, this is KA4AMI.
Okay, Eddie, thank you.
BKC.
Well, tonight I have the Anon 2000 on, the Anon 7000, I should say that, and the Collins 30S1. It's a little different than usual, but thought I'd give the 30S1 a little tickle its plate a little bit. Next up is, and good signal, Eddie, good copy hereabouts. Next up's our Vice President, KF4TXQ. Sam, your transmission, how you doing tonight? W4AMI.
Doing fine, Stan. Thanks for picking me up. And I heard Bob check in there, K4BKC. He checked in there just a second ago, but I'll go ahead and make my transmission, and I would defer to him in a second. But anyway, this is KF4TXQ, Dadeville, Alabama, and we're on the usual rig here, Little Hoss and an ICOM 7300 exciter and receiver, and so we're just rocking along and doing the best we can. Well, the weather's getting better. I noticed that the weather's getting better, but the propagation is still somewhat erratic. You know how it is. Propagation can do it very well, so there you go. But anyway, you got a good signal from Walhalla, and I'm hoping everything's going well. Eddie Brown, you got a good signal coming in from Williamson, so I tell you what, anytime you got braided stuff on coax and it can get anywhere near where the weather is, it's gonna do stuff. You know how it is. It's gonna corrode up and everything. But I have found since I've gone to ladder line, I don't have that problem anymore. I even got indoor jumpers of coax like RG58 and some of the little small stuff, and that does pretty well. And if you don't expose it to moisture, why, it'll hold up pretty good. So back to you, Stan. Good to hear you. W4AMI, Walhalla. This is KF4TXQ. Don't forget Bob, K4BKC. He was checking in. Over.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. I didn't hear Bob, but we're going to turn it to him right now. Mr. El Presidente is here, so let's see what's cooking in his way. Good signal, Sam. Good to hear you tonight. Thanks for checking in. K4BKC, come on in, Bob. W4AMI.
W4AMI, K4BKC. Well, we had a little lapse in the weather, so I thought I would jump in here right quick and say good evening to everybody. Thanks everyone for checking into the SAMRC Net. We appreciate it very much. Not anything new here. We're on the 20V2 and listening on the R390, and we've got lots of static. We've got some cells around us, but they separated just long enough for me to check in. So I may not be listening, but I'll be here for the numbers. I want to keep all our sick folks in the group in mind and keep them in our thoughts and prayers. And Ben and Susan over in Mentone, and we certainly want to keep them in mind. I hadn't heard too many reports on the Shelby Ham Fest, but it'd be interesting to hear anyone that went to Shelby. Well, that's about all from here, Stan. Thank you for running that. I appreciate you picking me up. Back to you, W4AMI, K4BKC.
Okay, Bob. Good. K4BKC, W4AMI. I didn't go to Shelby. It's one of the ones I kind of taken off the list. But from what I understand, there was a lot of boat anchor type stuff there, but the attendance was way down. And I was not a dealer there. So, not sure what the future bodes there for Shelby. We'll have to see. Okay, next up is, we got Bob. Next up is our pre-net control. Alan, how you doing tonight? Sounded good earlier. N4OZI from W4AMI.
Yeah, okay, Stan, W4AMI in the net. N4OZI. And yeah, that's a little unusual with Shelby being down, whereas 3 weeks earlier, Huntsville had record attendance again at 5,600. Over 5,600 people showed up. They even said that Sunday's attendance was up from last year, and I noticed that too when I was there. So that's kind of odd. I don't know why that is the way it is, but that's apparently the way it's going for some reason. Like I said, not just working on the KWM2, mostly working on this power supply for it that I've had forever. I basically got it from helping a guy move, and he said, "Here, 516 S2 power supply and a power supply 12 beaker watt meter." I said, "Okay," and I've had it forever, but it's an old one. It has a single 110 winding on it, so I got a kit for it to solid state it and to you swing the unused 5-volt filaments around and put them in series out of phase with the primary to adjust the voltage back down. And it also has a relay in it, which is nice. You don't have to use the KWM2 to power the thing up, which I never could quite understand why Collins did that. It makes more sense to use a relay, and because if that switch goes, that's it. There are no replacements for that switch. So, and the switch works. It's in KWM2, even though it does do AM, unfortunately. This one looks like it's been used a little bit and then put up. All the tubes are RCA. All of them all of them look like they've been in there. Everything's been. It doesn't look like anybody's even been inside the thing. It's kind of strange, but that means all the mods are going to have to be done to it, including the AGC mods, which I downloaded this morning, and I got heads up on that a couple weeks ago. So you're going to have to do those AGC mods. So we'll have to do that and some other ones on there, but. Looks like a pretty good unit. Kind of plain Jane. It's not really all that great, but it's well preserved. It looks like it might work out real well. Kind of a fun little project. I always wanted one of those. We'll see how it goes. Everybody sounding good? Appreciate everybody's help with the pre-net. Makes a big difference, and having some people relay stations, and that's all. So I can't hear them all. But that's all we got. Appreciate the call on that, and look forward to hearing everybody else's comments. Back to Net Control W4 AMI. This is N4OZI.
Okay, Alan. By the way, did KWM have plug-in relays, or did it come along before that?
It's very early, very, very early. It does not have plug-in relays, and it has the little mic, the little round trimmer thing for neutralizing the finals. So this thing is a very, very, very early KW2.
Okay, it's a candidate for some judicious tweaking. Good job. Glad you're happy with it. Next on the list is Mac W4AX. Your transmission, sir, and Mac. Like your pictures. W4AX, W4AMI.
All right, thank you, Stan. W4AMI, W4AX, and good evening to everyone on the net tonight. And I am on the Gates BC1T, and it's I've had it on several times already, but it's the first time for this net, and listening on a 75A4. Bob K4BKC was kind enough to spend time on the phone with me this afternoon and talk me through how he handles the audio processing. I guess he and Brandon do it the same way. So I've ordered the necessary hardware, and I'll see if I can tweak up the audio processing a little bit. Took me 3 weeks start to finish to clean up and convert this transmitter to 75 meters. I did do a write-up on it at Dr. Ron's request, and he posted that out on the W4AMI.org website. So if that's something you're interested in reading about, please help yourself, and I'll do my best to answer any questions you might have. And I want to give a special thanks to John K4VZS for finding this rig for me and facilitating me getting it. So thank you very much, John. And Stan, I understand you've got a 20V that you're working on, so I'll be excited to follow your progress and hear it on the air soon. Thanks so much again for running the net. W4AMI, W4AX.
Yeah, okay. Mac. Probably the end of October. It'll be plugged in and going. Be moved up to 75 here by then. Let's see. Love those 833 bottles. Yeah, man. And they look great. Next up is Bill, W4MA. How you doing tonight, Bill? W4AMI, go ahead.
W4AMI from W4MA. Good evening. Good evening, Stan. That. Fan condition seems to be improved, although I am picking up a little QRN. Someone mentioned a little weather. I think it's north of me. I haven't really looked. But copying everybody quite well. Did not make the Ham Fest. We stayed home. We had family and friends. Had a good time every evening. But I'm sure if I had gone to Shelby, I probably would have come home with something I really didn't need. But anyway, it was really nice being here. Do a little work in the garden and outside. Take advantage of the nice weather. Not too hot. A little warmer today than in the past. Anyway, thank you, Stan, for doing the net. And by the way, this is Bill in North Georgia, a little east of LJ. We're running a Ranger 1 and a Johnson Courier amplifier, about 175, 200 watts or so, and 75 A4 on the receive end. So good copy on everyone. I'm copying the guys on the Gulf Coast. Okay, a little light, but got good copy on Art and Joe and John, K4VZS. Anyway, 7-3 to all. Have a great evening, and look forward to the next time. W4AMI from Whiskey 4 Mike 7-3.
Okay, Bill, thank you. Good signal over here across the border tonight. This is the Southeast AM Radio Club Swap and Fellowship Net that meets every Tuesday evening. Take a standby for any latecomers. Come now, please.
Nova 4, Delta, Kilo, Delta.
Okay, we picked up N4DKD. Good evening to you. Anybody else? Nope, didn't hear anybody. DKD, good evening to you. Next up is Art, N4JK, down Destin Way. How are you, Art? W4AMI.
I'm doing good, Stan. W4GC. It sure is nice to hear 75 coming back to life. It was rough going earlier this summer. And frankly, I really wish I was pretty much able to get home. But I don't have any courage, and Eddie Graham, when you were talking, it was like somebody put on the switch, and you just blew coming away from that for him. And I want to say hello to Brian for DKD. Good to hear him on. I haven't heard him on in ages. Let's see. I'm running the Flex 5000. Enjoying listening to Mac's new transmitter. It sounds good. And curious to see what difference extra processing will make. Anyway, thanks for picking me up tonight, Stan. You take care. W4GCM from N4J.
Okay, Art. If you come on this frequency Thursday night about this time, you will hear W4GCM. I don't know who the net control will be. This is Tuesday night, and we're on the W4AMI banner tonight. We'll save GCM for Thursday, Art. Anyway, good evening to you. Good to hear you. Thanks for coming aboard. Had a surprisingly good signal. Doing well. Okay, next up is Billy, KO4SSY, your transmission. Go ahead.
Hi, Stam. This is KO4SSY returning, and we're on the Johnson 500. Same old stuff here, nothing new. And appreciate you stepping in yesterday when I was up fiddling with that amplifier, or TCB, and shut that stupid junk up. Spam, always spam. Everybody else get all them all day, every day like I do. Jeez. But it's been a pretty nice day. Hadn't been too bad. I got a few miles under me, but oh well. I come through the neck of the woods today. Probably around dinner time. And, anyhow, ain't a whole lot more going on here. We just sitting around listening to everybody chat. Thanks for picking me up. Thanks for running the net. And back over to you, Stan. W4AMI KO4SSY.
Okay, Billy. Yeah, nice jingle. Spam, yep. About 125 of them a day. Humbug. Art, N4JK, did you have something to add there? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just chiming in. I developed a bad habit calling internet. So I have it right now on 74 AM. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Geez, hey, you put us in pretty tall cotton there, Art. Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you. Take care. We'll see you, Billy. Good job. Good signal. And next time you're heading up this way, ignore ahead of time. See if we're here, and we'll put the coffee pot back on. Let's see. Next up is Greg. WA4I. Go ahead, Greg. Your transmission.
W4AMI. This is WA4I. Yeah, I don't know if receiver malfunction. So I spent time looking for a PA7, and I didn't find one, so dug my two testers, brought it down here, both of them checked good, so put some more cover with it, so I just put a monkey socket or something. Still got a little static pressures in there, but I reckon we'll make it through. So I'll say good evening to everybody on the phone. Good to be here. W4AMI, this is WA4II.
Okay, Greg. No, I did not call you earlier. This was, we're just getting to, you're about a third of the way on the list, so that's, we're just chugging along in the list, but glad you're cooking again. Okay, next it's over Pensacola way, K4JCP. Joe, how are you tonight? W4 AM.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Stan. W4AMI. And I'll try to keep the calls straight. And sit here and Max right up on his geek transmitter. That much. Anyway, it's been a nice week here. you did that case. We're hitting right at a quarter. Life is good. It's on the 8. We'll just bring other points on the case. The 168, switched over to that. And coming up nicely as the time goes on here. Stan, thank you for holding forward. We always look forward to the experience. W4AMI. I got it done. Wait for
Glad you're able to be with us tonight. Thank you. Good signal. Band is, I can tell the band's lengthening out just a little bit. There's some storms somewhere that are all of a sudden making a little more noise than they were earlier. But not a problem. Next up is Up Tennessee Way, WB4NKL. Cliff, good evening to you, W4AMI.
W4AMI, WB4NKL. Good evening, Stan. Everybody's coming in pretty good over the static here. I'm up in Limestone, Tennessee, and my name here's Cliff. I hadn't checked into this not a whole lot, but I know a lot of the guys that can. So everybody's sounding good. The Shelby Hamfest, I did attend it on Friday and Saturday, and we had perfect weather, but just didn't have the turnout that we were expecting. There are good parameters, well, about acres there, but it's probably about, I don't know, half of what it used to be, or from years ago, about a fourth of what it used to be. I've been going for about 50 years, so I've seen that pretty much decline over the years. And the Globe King found out tonight into 160-meter ladder-fed backhoe. Everybody's coming in pretty good. Stan, I got a letter in the mail there from you today. Thought I'd let you know that, and thank you. And I guess that's about all I got here. I'll turn it back and enjoy the rest of the night. W4AMI, WB4NKL.
Yeah, okay, Cliff. Hey, the Globe King sounds good. It's making its mark. Good signal, about 25 over. Good signal. Glad the mailman did his thing. Sure enough. Okay, next up is, we'll take one more transmission, then we'll take a standby. Take another standby. Out to Tick Ridge, K5HFG. Don, I hope you're copying. This is W4AMI. Go ahead.
W4K5HFG. Thank you, Stan, and everybody on the net. Looks like I'm about ready to shut down. That thunderstorm is knocking on the shack door. I'm going to have to take an early leave. So thanks for picking me up, and everybody have a good week. We'll see you next week. 73 from K5HFG. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, wow. Be about 10 over 9, Don. It's sure picked up from when from the beginning of net time. You can tell we're still in daylight here, but it's dark. It's not as bright as it was a half an hour ago. Okay, we'll take a standby, see if we have any latecomers for the Southeast AM Radio Club Swap and Fellowship Net. This is W4AMI listening.
KK4GZQ, good evening.
Good Lord, KK4GZQ. How'd that happen? Good Lord. Good evening, my friend. Good evening. Glad to hear you. Okay, anybody else? I didn't hear anybody, so we'll move on. We're down to Florida, K4VZS. John, how are you doing tonight? W4AMI, over.
W4AMI, K4VZS. I'm doing great. Just sitting here, I can hear it down up at Peak Ridge tonight, Billy. And my good friend of N4DKD, Brian, it's good to hear you. You're still in bondage with Florida when you weren't coming.
Enjoying the net tremendously tonight. Like Art said, things are getting better down here. Used to be, I couldn't even hear anything up until about 10 minutes to 7. It's doing better. And like I said, I'm on the Ranger with the SB 220. Really nice, sort of like the people's radio. I like that. And there's another little section 100 receivers. Other than that, I haven't bought a new microphone the other day. Marianne had it hanging in the box with two. So I've got a brand new deal tonight. This will be my reference. Other than that, things continue on. W4AMI, K4, GZS, and Pensacola.
All right, John. Hey, yeah, copying it quite well. So, yeah, the curtain's lifting, no question. And with that, we're going to turn it back up to Tennessee way. Let me put on my earmuffs here. W4OLJ, Virgil, come on in. W4AMI, over.
W4AMI and the net, this is W4OLJ. Okay, Stan. Boy, you're coming in strong over here tonight. And, boy, it's really improved since I turned on John. He, VZS, he jumped away up there, and Don out there in Tick Ridge, they both really improved from start to finish. And sorry to hear about Shelby going down so much. That has always been one of my favorite Hamfests, and always been a good one. But maybe it'll pick back up. Maybe next year will be better. I wanted to go, but it turned out I couldn't, so had to skip it. Copying Cliff real well up there in Limestone. That Globe King is doing a good job, Cliff. I thought when I first heard you were probably on the K91, but anyway, the Globe King really sounds great down here. We're supposed to get a few little thunderstorms tonight, but I hadn't seen anything yet, just some static. So back to you, Stan. Thanks a lot, and you're doing a great job. W4AMI. This is W4OLJ in Sweetwater.
Okay, Virgil. Wow. Yep. I can tell the band is just about back to normal. You're back up at your usual. You're pushing the mass meter to the usual plus 40 mark, which is just where it belongs. Okay, next up. One comment, Virgil. Yeah, boy. My own opinion, for what it's worth, I think they were better off out in Dallas, a few miles east of Shelby. It's a much nicer facility, much nicer. The folks in Shelby have just done nothing to that fairgrounds, nothing at all. Next up is Brian, N4DKD, your transmission. Glad to have you tonight. W4AMI, over.
Yeah, W4AMI, N4DKD. Home early a little bit and got to get some good stuff going. Hearing all these signals. Hello to Art, John, and looking at Max T33s remind me of Clyde's Christie transmitter. Bob will tell you about that. We're in DX100 tonight, HRO 50. Back to you, W4AMI, N4DKD.
Okay, Brian, good signal. Thank you. Good to hear you. Okay, next up, Kevin, how you been? KK4GZQ. Your transmission, my friend. Good to hear you tonight. W4AMI, over.
Thanks, Stan. Thanks for picking me up. W4AMI, KK4GZQ. And good evening all on the net here from Nunsuck, Kentucky, where the temperatures are starting to alleviate a little bit, and we're starting to get out of the 90s and back into the 80s and 70s, it looks like, coming up.
Boy, I've got a bunch of good check-ins here tonight, Stan. You've got a great signal up here from South Carolina. You're about 40 over on the R392. I'm running the C610G, the old Mousetrap here, with 614 speech amp and D104. And also, I wanted to mention how good that Cliff sounded on the Globe King 500. Just beautiful audio, big signal on him as well. And hello also to Virgil and John, K4VZS, and Virgil, W4OLJ, and N4TKD. I haven't heard Brian in a while, so good to hear everybody on. And Stan, thank you for running the net, and I'll send it back your way. W4A, K4.
All right, thank you. This is W4AMI. I'm at the end of the list. We'll take a stand in a minute before we shut down. Kevin, I was watching the 610 on the Panadapter here, and boy, that signal looks good. The audio is great in that coming out of that 614. Well done there, my friend. Well done. Good job. Let's see here, and come on back any Tuesday night. 6:30, and we start with Alan N4OZI starts out with the pre-net about 6:30, and then we get the formal gig going about 7 o'clock. And next week, net control will be Sam, KF4TXQ over in Alabama. He and I switch back and forth. And normally Kevin does the pre-net for Sam, but don't know if he'll be back. He's on vacation. I think he's down in Florida. Don't know if he'll be back the next week or not. But anyway, here we are. Okay, bottom of the list. Any check-ins? Anybody? Any latecomers? Come on right now. This is W4AMI. Over. Okay, I picked up Roy. Good evening to you, Roy, W4IDD. We'll get to you in just a second, Roy. The other station that checked in, WFL. What's the front end of your call, please? Okay, got it. W4WFL. And Larry, I apologize. I missed you. I'm sorry. And that's a screw up on net control's part. Guilty as charged. K3FZD. Larry, your transmission. Come on in. Sorry for missing you before. W4AMI. Over.
K3FZD, Signal Mountain. Listening to everybody, there's still a lot of static, especially coming from down in Florida and the Gulf. But when W4LJ comes on, the static goes away. It's totally covered up. But at any rate, again, listening with my iPad DX on my go into mute standby. I'm trying to figure out what that problem is. It does that when it warms up, not initially when you first start it on. That's about it. Back to net control, W4AMI, K3FZD, over.
Yeah, okay, Larry, you dropped down right near the end there. But anyway, thanks for checking in tonight. I'm sorry I missed you the first go. Next up is back to Pensacola way, W4IDD. Good evening, sir. How you doing tonight? W4AMI. Over.
All right, thank you, Stan. Good evening to you. And the net, this is W4IDD, Debbie Roy in Pensacola. And this says that's what I can understand. I just don't open up down here till about an hour buildings and miles everywhere else in the United States. So that was, anyway, it's good to be here. And I ain't got anything for the net. Miss Daisy May this evening, BMW 5100, a female, an NC300 receiver, and a pair of headphones on the BMW amplifier. And that's about the story from your stand. I'll turn it back to you with this little statement. I hope everybody out there in Radio Land
Okay, Roy, boy, you're really tonight. You were carrying between 15 and 20 over 9. Good signal from the Panhandle. Yep, we're getting around to that time of year. It's getting better. Next up, and last station on the list is W4WFL. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is W4WFL, and located in Pensacola, Florida. And I really don't have much for the net. I'm tonight running Johnson Viking and a Helicopter's SX71 for my receiver, and a resonant dipole. So I'm pretty modest over here, and just glad to be able to check in on a night off my farm tractor and been doing because it's been so hot out. I haven't been able to keep the weeds down, so I fired up the tractor and went through those weeds with that bush hog pretty quick. So anyway, I was able to make it in here before it cold out, but I'm just glad to be here.
Yep. Okay, Richard. Thank you. It's glad to have you. Glad to have you join us tonight, Richard. Off the tractor. Thanks again. This is the Southeast AM Radio Club Swap and Fellowship Net for Tuesday evening. Before we shut down, I will take a final standby, see if anybody else would care to join, or if anyone else has any comments. Go ahead. Okay, 'tis all quiet. Traffic count for tonight was 19, so we're picking back up as we normally do in the fall. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, and also thanks to the folks up in the north and northeast for allowing us to operate here on 3885 on Tuesday for more or less an hour every Tuesday, and also for the Mullets on Thursday and the Eagles on Monday night. This is W4AMI. Good night. Take care. We'll see everybody Thursday night.